Welcome back to Antics at the Armory. We're here for another video regarding MTG Arena. Today we're going to just talk about what we like and what we dislike about Arena. So let's start out with some of the critiques. Right from the beginning, we have the load in and load out, logging in, logging out. It's really clunky and extremely slow. I don't know if this is just my computer or if everybody's experiencing this issue. I have a fairly new gaming computer, and it takes forever. It's a good 5 minutes at least loading in, loading out, and it just feels very clunky and very unpleasant, to be perfectly frank. So that's one thing I hope they fix. And it could just be because it's in closed beta still. The next issue that I find is with drafting. The cost for drafting is just too high. 5,000 coins is a bit too much for most people, especially considering what you get. I would like to see them drop it down to around 4,000, maybe 4,500. And they could keep the same prize pool based on that. But along the same lines, if they really want to keep it at 5,000, they need to even out the prize payout. I've said it multiple times before. I absolutely despise the bonus packs. It doesn't feel good when you go six wins, 7 wins. You get all the way there and then you get a single pack because the 1 to 2 bonus packs are just a chance. It really doesn't feel good. It feels more like a trading system where you're trading coins for gems. And granted, draft is fun. That should be the main aspect to it. But 5,000 coins for a lot of people that aren't able to grind it out every single day can be a bit much. And there's no way to buy coins. Now, on the reverse side, I think 750 gems is right about where you want to be, especially in the old economy system they had, where 750 gems was just a straight $5. And that leads us into our next point. The gem conversion, it's just off. You can't really buy the exact number of gems you need for what you want. You're always over or under, which forces you to buy more gems if you want to be able to do it. And I really think that that's more of a predatory tactic, more of a psychological and predatory tactic. And it's not good. It's not fun. It doesn't make people feel good. You're going to, of course, have the high rollers that just buy and buy and buy. But for the average everyday person, it sucks. You want to draft, you want to be able to buy the exact number of gems you need to draft. The next point is the time in between drafts. And I know they're trying to set up like a Hearthstone system where, you play for a few days, you have the rest of the week off, play for a few days, rest of the week off, etc. But some people just want to draft, and you're going to lose them in the process because you're going to be waiting a whole nother week. Draft is fun. It's a main selling point for this format. Another thing that I kind of disliked with the most recent update that they did was the daily prizes. They cut out the bonus card and they limited it to 4 times per day. Now, they're a business. They need to make their money. So I understand that they don't want to give everything away for free. That's fine. But the additional card, it actually felt pretty good. It gave you more incentive to play rather than just coins, because you could get that rare, you could get that mythic, and it was just exciting and fun. And now you're basically just grinding out coins. So I would like to see them implement that also, and maybe increase it, to maybe 5 times a day or 6 times a day, that you can actually get some sort of bonus, even if it's a sliding scale. You get up to 5, you only get 50 coins, or, still have it at 100, but give it a couple more times. There's many ways that they could do it and still maintain the economy that they want. Next is something that I would like for them to implement into the beta so we can see it and play with it and test it. It's a friends list. A lot of people want to play with their friends, and right now we don't have any way to do that at all. So, you know, putting in a friends list so we could grind out games, have a good time, test out decks, that would be really nice. Let's move into some of the gameplay issues. This won't be a surprise to anyone out there, but the auto tap. It definitely needs to be reworked. Some of the coding, you know, whatever the issue is, you know, it really doesn't feel good at all to have, you know, your entire hand be black cards. You play one green and it taps your only swamp. You know, that isn't a good feeling, and a lot of people, especially newer players, are just going to play it out and not really notice it. You know, I'm fairly experienced when it comes to paper Magic, and I still make those mistakes. So especially for newer players, it's going to be a turnoff. So that's one thing that, you know, they really need to tweak and see how they can make it better. The next one is the phase change button, end turn, you know, move to combat, move to second main, etc. I think those could be spaced out a little bit more. This might be a little nitpicky. For me personally, I've done it a couple times where I've meant to hit, you know, go to combat, and I've clicked end turn instead, and it just cycles right through because that's what it's made to do. So having them a little bit further apart, I think, would be beneficial. The next issue that I've noticed in gameplay is with combat, especially first strike and double strike. If you notice, when you're going through those phases, rather than saying something like end first strike combat or end double strike combat, it says end turn, which is very confusing. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh my god, no, I have other cards I want to play. Can't end the turn. So I hesitated for quite a while on clicking it because I thought that there was a glitch in the system, and, you know, I wanted to figure out what I could do to try and fix it. And you can look back in one of our videos and you'll notice that Gabe did the same thing. He was like, no, I can't move through the phase. I don't want to end my turn, and it's telling me to end my turn. And for more experienced players, they'll catch it pretty quick and be like, oh, okay, you know, it's just ending first strike combat. For newer players, though, that's going to be quite confusing for them. They're going to think that there's something wrong with the system. They're going to think that they're being screwed out of something, at least for a little while. And that's not a good atmosphere to have for them. So that's one thing that they definitely need to tweak a little bit. And it should be a fairly simple tweak to have it just say end first strike combat, and it would solve everything. Some of the wait times can be a little bit aggravating, and what I mean by that is the players can draw out the clock, and, you know, it's not against the rules, so it's a somewhat valid strategy, just essentially going to the rope, just drawing out the clock as much as you can and getting your opponent to scoop. You know, it's not a good way to win, it's not a fun way to lose, and it's extremely aggravating, but people can do it. And because the wait time for that is so long, it's able to be abused. Now, this is a very complicated matter because Magic is far more complex than something like Hearthstone. So having a hard set 30-second timer for somebody to take their turn is very difficult to work with when sometimes you have a lot of complex decisions to make. But I think they can do a little bit better than what they have now. Another issue that I have with draft is that we're not actually drafting with real people. We're drafting with robots that kind of take a little bit of the fun away from the draft. For myself, I like reading the other people that I'm playing with, catching the signs, you know, seeing what's open, trying to move into it, and even screwing up can sometimes be fun when I miss a signal. And with this, it's just kind of not there as much as I really want it to be. You know, I'm basically pulling against a computer. There's no sense in hate drafting whatsoever. You know, reading that the person on the right is in red and taking a red bomb just to keep them off of it, so you have a better chance in the future of winning. It's something that they might be implementing once the full version comes out. This might just be for the closed beta, but I would like a little more communication on that so we know what to expect in the future. Now on to some of the more positive aspects of the game. The interface is phenomenal. I enjoy it. I really like all the sound effects that they have, the animations that they put in. It's very visually pleasing. The phases shift quickly when you want them to. It's not very clunky. I think the economy is fairly stable right now. Cards aren't too difficult to get. They're not all that easy to get, so it's a decent balance between challenge and success. If you want to grind it out, you can. If you want to pay for it, you can. It's not that bad at all. I enjoy the economy as it is. A couple little tweaks, especially with draft, like we just went over, but all in all, it's pretty good. And it does a very good job of accurately representing Magic the Gathering. Right now we still have limited sets, so we're not quite at standard level, but with the next update coming out, we will get Kaladesh and Aether Revolt, so it will be an actual full standard. It'll be interesting to see whether they implement the ban list or not, but we will have that full experience. And for me, especially because of the interface, it is far easier and it is far more pleasurable to play on MTG Arena versus MTGO. It's just more pleasant for me. And lastly, to touch on something that I'm not quite sure is a positive or negative yet, the trading. So MTGO allows trading, MTG Arena doesn't. For more casual players, being able to grind it out or simply purchase the packs and have the chance to get what you need is worth it for the most part. For casuals, it's not that bad. But if they want this platform to grow and to evolve, especially for things like pro players or for tournament grinders, for the spikes out there needs to be a consistent way to get the cards that you need in order to test your decks. So if they can't get them on Arena, then they're not even going to bother trying. They're going to stick with MTGO or paper, and they're not going to touch your platform. This will be amazing for people to test decks, for tournament players to get their bearings, to find out what decks are popular, just like MTGO is, but with a more pleasurable interface. So I'm not sure if trading will make things better or worse for the economy as a whole, but I do know for those specific players, it's going to be a must. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not they choose to implement it in the future. So those are just my thoughts on it. I'm sure that I missed quite a bit, so feel free to let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, what changes you would like to see to MTG Arena, what you think is great about it, what you would like to see them implement more of or enhance in some way. I think that it would be great for us as a community to be able to let Wizards know what we think, what we want, and for the most part, it seems like they're listening. With all of the updates, granted, there's still problems, but they have been implementing things that the community says they want. So we'll have to wait till the next update and see if they continue this trend, but I'm hopefully optimistic. This is Colin from Antics at the Armory. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment down below, and have a good day. Peace.